Wayne. I'm about to say I'm living in Las Vegas. I'm living in Las Vegas. My name is Jeff Wayne, near Las Vegas, and I've been in business. Oh, my first business was when I was 12, so we're type 69. You do the math, and I've always been fascinated by this business. I've done all sorts of business. I've been in the military. I've lectured at universities. I've studied all sorts of areas. Nothing is as simple as what we're doing now. Coaches, what I've learned, and it took a head over the head to say, keep it simple. And in this case, it was stupid. Use the KISS principle. That you do not have to be brilliant. You don't have to be an expert in fuels. You have to just share this with people. And that took me some time to understand. And Blaine has been spending that time with me and with my people to let them know that just show this and let it speak for itself. It's terrific. And that took quite a bit of involvement because I've been involved in some high level development, markets, foreign exchange, all sorts of things all my life, lectured in political economy. None of that's important. What's important is that this product saves people money. This pay system can make people very, very comfortable. And it's a product whose time has come. And it took a while for me to understand the simplicity of how to present it. But with Blaine's help, I'm getting there. I'm not necessarily there yet. I keep deferring to my dog, who keeps things very simple to keep me happy. So I want to keep my people happy by being simple and letting them know that they don't have to know anything in order to recruit somebody. We're all here to help each other. You can definitely bring them to a third party, to Blaine, to your upline, and let the other person explain it so that the person coming in understands that they can bring somebody over and they do not have to be experts. They have to share something that's good, something that's beneficial for their prospect's life. And that's just share it and let it speak for itself.
That's most excellent, Jeff. And Jeff lives in Las Vegas. The temperatures are a cool 195 degrees. And he's got his air conditioning running. And so when he gets on the mic, you can hear that little bit of noise. But Jeff, thank you. And one of the things we'll always do, and as you see on the screen here, Mark Campese. Mark has been not only my best friend, but he's been a business partner for over 20 years now. And if there's anybody that understands the human nature tendencies that drive people, Mark is probably as qualified at that as anybody. But one of the things that is often missed is life is not inorganic. I come out of a background of the sciences, and when you go to high school or college, if you're in science, you're going to take chemistry, and the basic chemistry is called inorganic chemistry. And the higher level chemistry would be called organic chemistry. And inorganic chemistry is dead. It studies elements. It studies zinc. It studies magnesium. As you remember in high school, that element chart on the wall, you all remember the alphabet, but I bet nobody could tell us the element chart. I'm the one guy that could probably do that because I had to study it. But the element chart is all of the earth minerals and metals and that sort of thing. And then you move into an area of organic chemistry, which is where life begins and biology comes out of that. And that's the synergistic gathering of living items that have chemical reactions and so forth. And I think all of you would agree that every once in a while you do meet a human being that seems rather inorganic, right? In other words, how many of you ever met someone say, "How are you doing today?" And they go, "Fine." Say, "Are you excited?" "I'm very excited right now." How many of you have ever run into someone like that, right? It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. They're probably a neurophysicist or something, right? That's just where they're at. But generally, most of us have some degree of animation or expression in our life, right? We are organic creatures created by God to be organic and in the organic nature to function together in tribes. People are like cattle. They like to gather together. Happy cattle hang together in a herd, right? Happy people associate with one another. I'm not referring to any of you as cattle, especially you women, but you understand what I'm saying, don't you? And if you want to know if we're organic, watch people at a party. They like to congregate, they like to chit chat, they like to talk about all kinds of stuff, wood ticks, lunatics, and today, unfortunately, politics. So we talk about human nature tendency. Now, the reason I'm saying that to you is we go into a little bit of training today. I'm going to have Mark take a few moments and discuss with you a little bit about human nature tendency. If the business were inorganic, you could just take the product and tell someone, put it in the tank, saves money, and then walk away, and they would buy it. But they would not build something. They would not go build something. So by giving a product to somebody and thinking that they're going to use the product and then get in and go build an organization and create a revenue stream from you is not rather naive, it's exceptionally naive. And if anybody's telling you that that's the case, I don't think they probably really thought it through very well. I'm not going to criticize it, but the truth of the matter is people need to be moved by the levers of human emotion, not through manipulation, but through incentive to get to where they want to be. There's a big difference between leading, like Jeff was talking about his dog Shadow. You know, Shadow keeps it simple. Give me a bone, Daddy, and I will be loyal to you. But don't give me a bone. If you open the door, I'm going to run out. I heard yesterday that Shadow took a little dash out the door, right? So listen, we raise dogs out here. We got these Bernese Mountain Dogs, and the truth of the matter is you feed them and you love them and they stick around loyally, right? Well, that's what we need to do with our teams. We've got to feed them with nourishment of the heart. And then we also need to, by the way, teach them how to get what they want. You must focus on the hopes, goals, dreams, and aspirations of your teammates ahead of yourself and help them get what they want. And as a result, you will get what you want. So the exchange is not the product of the pill, the tablet, the catalyst. The product that we have is an ointment that goes to the heart, that when they feel it, because you're talking to them, what their response is inside, even if it's only subconsciously, is I can have a better life here. Now, I want to tell you that when Mark and I talk, Mark is a better teacher than him. He's far more organized. All of you know that know him. But when we talk and when others talk, it's really critical that you're not listening just with your ears and your notepad, although note takers are money makers, but that you open up the aperture of what I believe is your spirit, so that when it comes in inside, you can say, there's something about that resonates with me, that's on the same frequency as I am. Because even since you were in the schoolyard as a little child, you wanted to play with one another. You wanted to have fun. You wanted to achieve. You wanted to run the race and get the blue ribbon, right? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Well, when we start to build our business understanding that, it no longer is about the pill. It's about the achievement and helping someone go from peak to peak in their life. And that first peak might be hitting a bronze, or it might be hitting silver. It might be hitting platinum. It might be having someone tell them, thank you, you're helping me save enough money that I can pay some of my bills that I'm not paying. You've got to find out what that is. That is the goal that we have as a group here. And today we'll spend a little time, but I'd like Mark to take a few moments. And I want to remind everybody, and I'll remind you again, tomorrow there is a webinar at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, and you're all going to get the opportunity to meet our CEO. I know that Mike mentioned that he was the owner. He owns the infrastructure of the company, the warehouse and all that, but he is functionally the CEO of the company. And I've talked to him several times now. It's going to be a real treat for all of you to meet him. He works shoulder to shoulder. He and his wife work shoulder to shoulder with Andrew and Nancy in pushing out to the world this company that we call MPG Extreme. So it's really important you be on there. And then when the recording comes out, we'll get it up on our YouTube channel. And at some point, we can tell you how to find that address for that webinar. maybe Mike do, Mike's out and about, so maybe I'll get someone to get that webinar address, but for right now, we'll bring that up and give it to you at the end of the call. And that's a cheap way of me keeping you on the call for a little bit. Mark, I want you to take a little bit of time, talk about this concept and how important it is to understand how people function, how they think, and what moves them. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, a couple of things just to follow what was said previously too is here's a saying I learned some years ago. High tech, no check. High tech, no check. What does that mean? Well, if we dwell in the land of just the cerebral and information, guess what? We lose people. We want to get to the heart, right? We want to keep things simple, but go to the heart, because this is a relationship-driven business. That's a key component of the kind of business we're in. It's a relationship business, and the better you get at developing relationships that elevate people, make people feel good, the more successful you will be in your recruiting process and in your building process, because it's ongoing. Building is ongoing. Recruiting, bringing a person in, is a one-time event. We bring them in, we prospect, we do what we must to get them in. But once they're in, now we get in the building process. We bring them to the next level. So we don't want to dwell in a place of too much information, right? High tech, no check. But I was taught this by a great mentor I had. He said this: information tells, testimonies sell. Information tells, testimonies sell. And he was very big on telling testimonies. And he always taught there were two basic testimonies: our testimony on product and testimony about making money. But here's a point that really is critical, because even in my recruiting process here, I'll meet people I bring to the business. They say, well, as soon as I use the product and see the results, I start talking to people. And I understand that's part of our human nature tendency to think like that. As soon as because we want to be honest with people, right? We want to talk from our hearts about what we've experienced. But what he would teach is this: you borrow someone else's testimony until you have your own. This is a borrowing bit. We borrow everything until we have our own here, right? It's the idea of borrowed strength versus acquired strength. So there are lots of testimonies about how this product works. I have one. I mean, the very first day I put it in and put gas in, I experienced results, 15% improvement in my mileage. Plus I saved 70, 80 cents a gallon because I didn't have to put premium in. So that's my simple story. It works. I know it works. But if it wasn't working, if I just was starting today and I didn't even have the product, hasn't even arrived yet, what would I do? I would share other people's stories, because stories sell, testimonies sell. It's a very important and simple concept. The same thing about making money. Well, hey, how much money are you making? Hey, I just got started. I'm not making a lot of money, but in my first week, I paid for my product. I got it in 1 week. Or you could say, hey, I'm not making that much money. I'm just getting started. Hey, but the person I'm working with, hey, he made, $3,000 his first week, or whatever the story is. You borrow and you tell. And that moves people. Stories, there's something about stories and people who can tell good stories. They tend to be very successful, not just in our business, but in many kind of businesses. Stories sell, always. So we want to become a master of that. And once again, part of this business, and we were taught by a great mentor who taught about human nature tendencies. Matter of fact, I've gotten a book, I don't have it right in front of me, but he lists 10 very key human nature tendencies. And we'll share that with you down the road, that are really, really powerful, that show you how people think, and how you can relate to people in such a way that you're going to overcome their defenses. So when you talk to a person, they're either going to open up and they're going to be hearing what you're saying, or they're going to put like a closed kind of thing, right? They're going to be closed. You can tell when you're talking to people, are they open, receptive, or are they closed? So we want to talk in a way with people that causes them to open, to be trusting. We don't want to use words or phrases or things like this that scare them, right? They're easily spooked. That's one of the laws, right? That's one of the human nature tendency. People are easily spooked, right? They're like if you ever went for a walk in the woods and you see, some animals or whatever. I just saw a dog. I saw a doe a few weeks ago just walking through some woods here. But as soon as it saw me, as soon as it had a scent of me, it started doing its little dance and moving and running. Well, hey, I spooked it, right? We want to talk to people in a way that we don't spook them, and too much information spooks them, right? We want to be simple. That's why stories, look at the whole world tells, the whole world for the world since its inception has told stories. The Adam and Eve story that story is in every culture, by the way. They have different names for it, but it's the same culture. It's the same being, Adam. So stories travel down. Stories are powerful. Learn to tell stories. High tech, no check. Get down to the heart of people, as Coach says. Win the hearts. Be in the winning the heart business. You win the heart, the mind's going to follow. If you shoot for the head, you could get all kind of results. Go for the heart, and it will always bring positive results. Coach, that's what I'll share today. Your mic, brother.
Maybe that'll work a little better. Although some people say it's nicer to have it off with me than to have it on. So that was great, Mark and Mike Dew and Jeff. Thank you guys. Let's wrap this half hour up with a couple of thoughts, and then I also want to give a couple of acknowledgments. And if someone can get the web address for the webinar tomorrow, Jeff, you've got it. Very good. We'll have Jeff bring it on. So get your notepad ready. Folks, we're not practicing here. I just will say this, that Mike Dew and his wife Barb have had a great, successful life. They live in a beautiful area of Florida on the Gulf Coast. They have built very successful businesses. Listen, they've been in the top 1% income percentile of income in America for many years. They're well respected amongst their peers. They have had an affinity to network marketing and have had a reasonably high degree of success in it. But for Mike, as I've talked to Mike, as I've analyzed him, what I've analyzed is that he has never achieved the success in network marketing that he believes he's capable of. And one of his biggest motivators is to become $1 million earner in this industry. He knows he can do it. He knows that he and Barb can do that. So that's a big motivator to him. For other people, it's a different motivator. And so even when I'm talking, yes, to my upline, Mike is my sponsor. And even when I'm talking to my upline, I'm interviewing them. I'm not interrogating them, although sometimes, Mike, I know it probably feels like I am, but I'm interviewing them to fact find the golden nugget of the why. Because otherwise, all I'm doing is I'm trying to get someone to do something for me. And that's a very low form of functioning. That's like really cheap, classless salespeople do that. But in our business, the art form is to identify the why. And the only strategy for identifying the why is to visit with someone, to interview with them. And Mark's talking about shooting for the heart. I agree with that, but you want to be a little careful with people that when you meet someone, if they're a stranger, it's in the cold market, to not go too deep too quickly, because it can feel it can make someone feel unsettled, especially post-COVID. People have been locked down, they've been isolated. I don't know about you, but when I get around someone that I don't know, and in the first conversation they're saying, "Hey bro, I love you, bro," it's like, come on, you don't even know me, right? It's like I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. I'd like to get to know someone a little bit. Like Mark Campisa, I love him. I love him like a brother. I like him even more. And Mike too, the same thing. I told Mike the other day, I've known Mike for 20 years. And I said, I just really feel like this last several weeks, couple months, that I'm really getting to know you. And I like what I see. I like what I be around. And does this make sense to everybody? It's kind of like if you're on a date for the first time with someone that you met recently, and you're on that date. Listen, you want to take it a little bit slow. You want to get to know the person. You want to have a little bit of a courting time. a little bit of romance, right? Why? Because if you're too sudden, what happens is there's something inside of people that will give them a red flag, will tell them something's not right here. And when those red flags start going up, I'm telling you right now, it's a downhill spiral in the relationship. So how do we reconcile that what I just shared with you with the fact that I meet a stranger, I get them on the video, I get on a phone call, and I have them closed in 10 or 15 minutes? Because moving things along at a pace is not based upon linear time on the clock. It's based upon the communication in the conversation. You need to learn how to stage the conversation so it doesn't get, honestly, it just doesn't get weird. And we're not going to talk about that today, but next week we'll spend a lot of time talking about that, because never before in my career have I had a product that I could walk anywhere up to anybody and ask them a question, say, you know, I'm fairly new to the area. How you guys up here feeling about the gas prices? I mean, this is the easiest door opening conversation on the planet for a network marketer. And when you ask people that question, you'll be surprised but if you're approaching them with the idea that you're going to pounce on them and get them in, they're going to smell it like that little dough that Mark talked about. You're going to spook them. No, you can't be thinking about your next line, that how you're going to get them crowded into what you're doing. You got to take it a little bit at a time, but you'd be surprised when you walk up to somebody and you're just pleasant, say, hey, how you doing? I was just curious. I just curious, how do you think people around here are feeling about these fuel prices? Everybody's talking about it at work. They're used to talking about it, and they're going to give you an answer. And the answer is probably not going to be, what business is of yours? They're probably not going to say that to you. If in your mind you think they're going to reject you, it's probably not so. They're probably going to give you an answer. And when they give you the answer, say, do you think if we could have a program that help people, maybe a subsidy program, but not funded by the government, funded by private enterprise, that could subsidize people and save them 10, 15, 20% on their fuel, do you think that would be popular? Did you hear that line, by the way? I hope you did. I hope you get all these recordings from this week are going up on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel later today. So we got 5 of them after today. But you could go up to somebody, you could say, hey, how do you feel about these fuel prices? You could do that anywhere. You could do it in the peach section in Walmart. You could do it at the drugstore. You could be looking at them and saying, hey, about these prescription prices, what about gas? You could do it in the grocery store about these fruit prices. My God, that's terrible. But what about gas? You know what people are going to say? They're going to say some derivative of these gas prices are ridiculous. And then you could say, what if there was a program that was privately funded and helped people save 10, 15, 20% on fuel? Do you think people would be interested in that? What do you think they're going to say? Nod your head if you think they're going to say yes, they'd be interested in it. Say, you know, I got a video I just saw that talks all about that. It's only 5 minutes. Can I share it to you? And I like both the videos we have. I like the 7-minute product overview video, and I love the new video. The new video is really geared toward a pure opportunity seeker. It's a high lifestyle. It's an eye candy video. It could turn someone off that's extremely uptight and analytical. It could turn them off. If you got someone that's like a professorial person, they're highly intellectual, I would give them the 7-minute product overview video. Okay? Why? Because those people that live in the clouds of non-reality in academia, sorry, Jeff, they are offended by people talking about dreams, goals, hopes, and aspirations. Did you know that? And my God, don't talk about making money. How offensive could that possibly be? They're probably not your target anyway. Give them the other video and let them be a customer. Let them come in and get all their Mensa members together and talk about the chemical product makeup of the product. I'll tell you who you're looking for. Someone that watches that 5-minute new video from the company that's on our YouTube channel, and they go, man, I love that video. I had 20 people call me yesterday that are in the business already When they saw that video, they called back and they were amped up. Amped up. So you want that. I'll wrap up with this thought. We got 2 minutes. And I'm going to say this to you. You've got to set a goal. You have to set a goal, whether it's to go bronze, getting your first 2 people. And if you're brand new, then you need to set a goal to go bronze, and you need to set a time frame up. Otherwise, time will pass through the sundial, will pass through the sand glass, and pretty soon a week will turn into 2 or 3, and then it will become a pattern that you just go day after day after day, and you don't have any action. Goals are designed to have time frames to cause you to move into an action mode. No action, no reaction. Does that make sense to everybody? So whatever level you are right now, if you have nobody sponsored or one sponsored, set a goal to go bronze by getting your second one or your first 2 in. And how soon? I would set that goal within 4 days. In my opinion, a week is too long. It gives you too much lag time. You got to snap the slack out of the rope, friends. You have to. You can't do push-ups 1 every 3 months and think you're going to have a chest that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got to get down and you got to do those 20 push-ups or whatever it is. My son does. My son looks like Adonis. He looks like Conan the whatever they call it. Conan the Barbarian. He's an animal, this kid. 19 years old. He should be a bodybuilder. He does like 100 burpees in 10 minutes, and he does 3 sets of them. I pull a hamstring just listening to him do it. So you understand what I'm saying about action? If you are a bronze right now, you've got 2, you need to set a goal to go silver and get 4. You need to set a goal. If you get 2 in 4 days, shouldn't take you more than 4 more days to get 4. Then you need to get a goal to go gold, which is 8. And if you've got 8, and you're looking down the road at platinum, I'm going to tell you right now, if in your mind you're thinking, well, I'll get it done in the next couple of weeks, my estimation is it probably is going to be a long time before it happens. A long time before it happens. Why? Because you don't have a specific date. So I'm telling all of you, if you've got 6, 7, or 8, you look at platinum, which is 12, you put a date down, and you go for it. None of this, listen, I'm not upset, and I am going to wrap up with this, but I'm not upset when I tell you this. I am intense, however. None of this languishing around and giving yourself an excuse for why you didn't get it done. Is it okay if I talk to you like a coach for a minute? There is no excuse for procrastination in your own business. There is only now, the action step of right now. And if you've got 6 or more people personally sponsored, you need to set a goal to get platinum done within 7 days. And what do you need to do? Make a decision, write it down, and speak to yourself, I am a platinum, and watch circumstances happen around you to attract the law of attraction, to attract people to you, circumstances to you, to get it done. And if you go 7 days and it's not done, then reset the goal again, by the way, reset the goal again, and don't beat yourself up. This is what people do that are competitive and achievers. So I hope that helps you. Mike, I'm going to give you the honor of the closing comment, and we'll wrap this up.
Well, that's certainly great advice. And listening to Mark and Coach, the act of acting now, certainly great advice. We're sitting here in the car, and I've got to go to the gas station. I've got 69 miles to empty, so you can bet I'm putting a tablet in today. But I don't know that I have any great words of wisdom, other than for sure to be on the Zoom tomorrow. The address is posted in the Facebook group.
Give it. I'll have Jeff come on and give that out, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Sure, I'll put it up while he's talking, if you like.
But certainly everyone should be there. It's going to be a great honor to meet the CEO, and most likely, I'm sure, his wife as well. And every step of the way that I see what this company does, I get more impressed. I don't know about the rest of you, but I really loved the video that came out, and I had high expectations for it, and it met my expectations. And I realized what you said, Coach, about analytical minds might like the other video from Kevin Hunter, but the beauty of it is we have both. So be arbitrary in your decision where you use which one, but we do have two great videos that'll lead you to enrollment. So back to you, Coach. Appreciate the chance to jump on.
Go ahead, Jeff Wayne. Let's get that address out.
I'll give the address out. If you let me share, I'll put the poster up too. It's right here. But the address is the meeting ID. It's on Zoom at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, and you can. That would be 9 a.m. Pacific. Meeting ID is 875 6761 0651. Again, once more, 875 6761 0651. And the passcode is lowercase MPG.
Okay, now go to the Facebook page, worldwidedreamteam.com, and Mike has posted that on there. For most of us that may not get all those numbers, go to worldwidedreamteam.com. It'll take you right into Facebook, and then if you're a Facebook user, it'll probably prompt you to log in. You'll see it right there on the page, the information, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. And Mark Campese, it's nice to see you're back with us. And to all of you, those of you listening to this, it's the 26th of August, 2022. So the information, some of that we've given out here is dated if you're listening to this recording. So I guess I'd say just disregard it. But the training will never go out of style. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on that webinar tomorrow. And as always, my line is open all day. We are going from dawn till dark. We only need another 6,000 points to hit diamond. That's 60 signups by next Wednesday. So if anybody's here, I don't want people to call me just to visit. Okay, I'll do that the first of next month. If you want to call and have people for me to talk to or to pursue or to do presentations for, then I'm going to work around the clock, because we're going to hit that diamond by next Wednesday. We've got to set the pace for the team. I'm doing it for Brooke and I'll be honest with you, but I will tell you the other reason is I was taught by my great mentors, the best thing to do is to set an example. Michael Renz has certainly done that. Mike Dew did that by hitting platinum, he and Barb, and many of you are doing that. You need to understand your team is watching you, and people want to get on a ship that's going somewhere, right? So we'll talk about that. Our next team call will be Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific at the same location. And then Monday evening, we've got another wonderful company-wide conference call. So thanks everybody for joining us. In the meantime, have a great day and a great weekend. Goodbye.